Rejuvenate, restore, refresh, and heal. At Fantuzzo Acupuncture, we seek to help achieve effective health and wellness in an elegant spa-like atmosphere. Fantuzzo Acupuncture specializes in traditional acupuncture, cosmetic anti-aging acupuncture, acupressure, cupping, CBD topical creams, and more. Approach healthcare holistically. Visit FantuzzoAcupuncture.com to book online today. FantuzzoAcupuncture.com.
From attic to basement, we're here for you. It's quality service in all we do. Call Taylor. 500 help.
Yep, Taylor 500 help for all your heating and air conditioning needs. And of course, as we're, in December, it is officially December 1st. And if your furnace craps the bed, then Taylor is who you want to call. You want to make sure that they come over, make sure your furnace is serviced, make sure everything's working well. Taylor 500 help since 1947. They are the professionals that you want to keep in mind when you're looking for furnace repair. They're your one-stop shop for furnace and your water heaters with Bradford White water heaters. So they do everything: heating, air conditioning, duct cleaning, water heaters, all that good stuff at Taylor Heating and Plumbing. If you are looking for a job, Taylor Heating and Plumbing, they're hiring. They're looking for home energy techs, HVAC technicians, and also plumbers. It's Taylor 500 help. Precision Lawn and Garden in Webster. Of course, that is your snowblower location. You go up there, they will get you the big daddy of all snowblowers. 195 North Avenue in Webster since 1969. Providing Rochester and surrounding areas, sales, service, and parts. Snowblowers, they got them. Chainsaws, got them. Blowers, they got them. Lawnmowers, they have all makes and models, on sale models. And Taylor, Precision Lawn and Garden, not Taylor, in Webster. Talk to my friends Kimberly and Justin, and they will set you up. And Express Sealers, if you need your driveway plowed, maybe you need your business plowed when we get a big snow, and it's coming, you're going to need Brian at Express Sealers, 645-2010. That's 645-2010. He will do the east side of town. We're talking Ontario, Williamson, Webster, Penfield, or Irondequoit. That's Express Sealers for all your plowing needs for business or residential. 645-2010. Please support all of our advertisers. They support us here at Kimberly's Revolution on the We the People Podcast Network.
Chad's staring at himself.
Not surprising.
Live from the We the People broadcast studio in cloudy 43-degree Irondequoit, New York.
Hello.
What do you get when you cross a badass with a horse's ass?
Oh, boy.
With a dumbass. You get Kimberly's Revolution.
Which one am I?
Here she is.
Which one am I?
It's Kimberly Ray.
Am I the dumbass? Am I the dumbass of that equation?
I'll let you figure that out.
Am I the horse's ass? I don't know. I want to be the badass, but I don't know. Being a badass gets me in trouble. Hey, it's Kimberly's Revolution. It is Wednesday. It is the We the People Podcast Network. I'm Kimberly. Kimberly's Revolution. Chad Hummel is sitting across from me. He is the attorney. He is the one that gets us in trouble mostly, along with me. He keeps us out of trouble. That's what I meant to say.
I do both.
Is
what actually what you meant to say. I do both.
He, of course, is also
I proudly do both.
The lawyer and the broker of Revere Realty, which we are in the building of Revere Realty. I do real estate. Tom is an appraiser. He also owns half of the brokerage. And just Tom sitting across, hopefully not throwing things at me today. I was thinking, man, you had a direct hit. That was good. You're very good.
You're a gamer.
Can we see that in slow motion?
I was raised with brothers, and I will tell you that do not try that with other ladies on the radio. It will not end well for you.
So you're saying you're a lady?
I am, but I'm one of these girls. I go with the flow. And Austin is here. Austin, of course, running everything so that we can bring you Kimberly's Revolution. And there
1 hour of fun and glee.
That's it. That is it. Again, thanks to all of our sponsors: Fantuzzo's Acupuncture, Taylor Heating and Plumbing, Express Sealers, and Precision Lawn and Garden. We could not do this show without them. We couldn't have done this at all without Fitz at Rockvox Productions. That's ROCVOX. He's the one that helped us get this podcast up and running. We started with him over a year ago, doing a podcast at his location. And if you are thinking about doing a podcast with some friends or your family, you think you have, your family has a lot to say, then call Fitz at Rockvox Productions. That's ROCVOX, and he will get you all set up. All right. To do a little housekeeping from yesterday, by the way, it's December 1st. Yay. Right. 30 days left in the year. 30 days to really screw things up and go big time on 2021 before a brand new year sets in.
Do we start playing Christmas carols on the We the People podcast network at this
No, we
point,
don't.
or
We don't
no?
play all Christmas music here.
Gotcha.
No, thank God we don't play Christmas music on the podcast. Are you sick of it already?
Do you want me to sing Silent Night?
I don't.
Yeah, you don't.
I don't.
You're right. You don't.
But
Good choice.
30 days left in the month. And of course, I wonder, just me, when I'm alone and driving, which is a little scary, I wonder what 30 extra days has in store for Rochester. And unfortunately, with all the violence that we've had, I don't think 30 extra days bodes well for that homicide count.
Well, at least we don't have Lovely for those last 30, right?
I know. I'm so going to miss Lovely. Darn. So today's show is called No Regrets. No Regrets, because Mayor Lovely Warren made her goodbye speech. And in the goodbye speech, she said, I have no regrets. So we will get to that. But the other house cleaning item I wanted to get to, not only is it December 1st, then we have 30 days to majorly F up December. But you have to be good because Santa's coming, right? Santa's coming in what, 24 days. So you have to be good. Yesterday, I mentioned the Cuomo brothers. And I said yesterday, because the transcripts have come out from the Governor Cuomo sexcapade situation. And it turns out that, as we had mentioned months ago, that brother, Chris Cuomo, Fredo, the younger brother, was more involved as a journalist in helping to strategize a way out of this for his brother than he initially said. Now, I think all of us agree that we know he was all in with both feet, both hands. He was all in trying to help his brother out, strategize how they were going to come out to the media, writing speeches for him to give to the reporters. Chris
doing
Cuomo,
research, using his moles to do the research.
Right. I mean, we knew that, but now it's come out. There they are.
Nice.
Now it's come out that he actually used his journalistic sources to get information on some of the victims to make them look bad, to dig dirt, to get something so that they could use it against them. Now that we find out that, and of course we talked about this yesterday, and I said, what's the over under? He's without a job by Friday.
You won.
I don't know. I didn't pick an over under, but I just said, what's the over under? Did you answer? Did you have an answer for that?
I'm not sure. He'll be back at some point.
You should be good at predicting.
They didn't fire him. He's just suspended indefinitely.
I don't see how.
Which means they're paying him.
He's suspended indefinitely.
We'll have a slot for him here on the
probably because of his contract. They have to pay him, or maybe they don't. I mean, I don't know. But it was funny how this works at corporations. When one of the other people says, I won't work with them anymore because they're vile. And then all of a sudden they kick you right out the door. I don't know anybody who that's ever happened to before besides Chris Cuomo, but Jake Tapper immediately turned tail and just started attack mode on his coworker. Isn't that funny how they can, like the wolves can smell the blood and they just pounce because they're hoping to have as much success as Chris Cuomo or, whomever. And I got news for you.
Save themselves mentality.
You will never have that kind of success because, Jake Tapper is kind of a jackass. So he goes to CNN and he goes, I won't work with him. He's making us look bad. He's a horrible person, and I won't come to work unless he's fired. I do believe I've heard that somewhere before. But I mean, so basically CNN ate their own. And now Chris Cuomo is suspended indefinitely. I predict he is not going to survive this. They're either putting together a plan where he can step down or he's going to resign. But I predict that he will no longer be with CNN. And quite frankly, I don't know what he did there anyway. He's not talented, right? He's kind of an idiot.
He's just a talking head.
Really, he's not smart. So I'm not really exactly sure what he added to CNN, but I guess he joined the rest of the not so smart people at
He
CNN.
toes the company line. That's what he does.
Well, he did until he decided he was going to try to bring the victims down in his brother's sex scandal. And that, of course, is the antithesis of, what CNN apparently stands for. They hashtag Me Too, we believe all women, yada, yada.
Well, they're so full of shit, of course. I mean, the
Right.
irony of the fate now that him and his brother, these two jackasses, these two clowns that are up on the screen, the irony of the fate that the two of them suffered here is they both were instrumental nationwide and statewide here in New York in building this very bridge that they've both been thrown off of now.
Right.
So the common phrase is you dig the grave.
Right.
So these guys built this bridge of wokeness, right? The wokeness bridge, I'd like to call it.
Okay.
They helped build.
I like that. It's got a ring to it.
Yeah, they helped build, and there's tolls that come with this. I mean, you know how much it costs to go across this wokeness bridge?
Yes, it's a
the
lot.
Tolls are very expensive.
Yeah.
It's like the Tappan Zee Bridge, although it's not the Tappan Zee anymore, right? It's the Mario Cuomo.
Financially and mentally, the tolls are a lot. Yeah,
exactly.
Yes.
So they build this bridge of wokeness.
Yeah.
They build this bridge of, as you just explained, that, the not me, the hashtag not me movement.
Believe all women.
Hashtag every movement.
Yes, right.
Whatever woke cause there's been, put the hashtag in front of it. And these two were instrumental in building that bridge.
Of course.
And now, of course, like we always say, whatever it is that they're telling us, it's the opposite. Whatever it is they're telling us to do or to not do, they're doing it behind the scenes.
Right.
These two have now been exposed for doing the very things that they built their bridge based upon.
Exactly.
So they should be the first ones thrown off their own bridge.
Exactly.
Right into the shallow river.
Yeah, one was
Right
feeling up his minions, his subordinates.
A lot of them.
And helping, having them write his book that he received all the proceeds from.
Yep. And the other one's helping cover it up.
And the other is help trying to dig dirt on the victims that he was feeling up, his brother. And
where did they learn that move from? The Clintons. That's what the Clintons did. Right. So after Bill got done doing his thing for all those years,
right,
raping women, sexually abusing women, bringing them into the White House and whatnot.
Plane, the Epstein Lolita plane or whatever they called it.
And then Hillary, credit to Rush Limbaugh, he helped expose this back in the 90s. But Hillary and all of her minions, they create, this whole bimbo squad thing where they go out and they purposely find and attack and marginalize the accusers. It's the accuser.
Exactly.
Philosophy.
Exactly.
So this playbook, as we, hear it referred to as, this democratic woke playbook, it's been in place for a long time. And they just go back to, chapter 3, chapter 4, chapter 5, rinse, repeat. This is a classic strategy.
And this speaking of the Clintons, and he still welcomed Bill Clinton and just making bucks on the circuit, on the speech circuit.
Oh yeah.
So I mean, the amount of money the Clintons are making on the going to wherever and making
Bill Cosby
speeches
opens
circuit.
for him, right? Bill Cosby opens for Bill Clinton.
I mean, they're still welcome with open arms.
Of course they are.
But as I mentioned yesterday, so just to clear that up, as we left the show yesterday, probably 2 hours after Kimberly's revolution on Tuesday afternoon, word broke that Chris Cuomo was suspended indefinitely. And I don't know how he's going to survive it. I think they have all, are jumping on him with both feet and stomping, hoping that they stomp the life out of him.
He's done. That's my take.
When your coworkers turn on you like that, then you're done. But I just have one word for those CNN coworkers. They'll come for you eventually. Maybe not today or tomorrow or next year, but eventually something will happen to those coworkers.
100%.
And they'll come for you eventually. That's all I have to say. I mean, it's just
because they helped build that bridge.
Because
also,
you helped build it. Yes.
So they're gonna eventually. It's gonna be their turn to get thrown off the bridge.
You can never keep up with the morality.
Haven't you ever seen a mob movie?
Yeah.
What do they do? Everybody by the end of the movie goes for a walk.
Yeah. You can. Yeah. And there's no one there to save you.
Yeah.
Because you can't keep up the facade of the morality.
Correct.
It's a facade. We all know it. We know CNN is as crooked as they come. But they want to be the woke.
Hold on a second. I have a question.
People.
Tom, what's the temperature? It's like 43 degrees.
that what he said?
It's 67 in the studio.
So what do they do?
I mean, Jesus, feel free to chime in once in
They
a while.
rolled out
There's no
Anderson.
time.
They
Chad, what if this bridge, if you bungee jump off of it, do you come right back up? Is that what's going to happen?
They rolled out.
Can you bungee jump off to this bridge?
Well, it's a 76-foot tall bridge, and these guys were given bungee cord that stretches
Yeah.
to about 77 feet.
Can we play?
All right.
So they roll out Anderson Cooper.
Oh, here we go.
Poor Anderson.
I can't wait to hear what this clown has to say.
And they say, "Hey, Anderson, you're gonna go give the speech for CNN. You're gonna explain why Chris Cuomo is not on the show tonight. So go.
Is that what happened?
If I'm Anderson, yes.
Are we going to play this?
Last night they rolled him out and made him give the excuse of why Chris Cuomo wasn't there. If I'm Anderson Cooper, I'm like, fuck you. You get.
Oh, you know what? I wish they would have had Lemon do it. They should have had Lemon, because Lemon and Cuomo, they love to kiss each other's privates every night as they hand each other show over to each other.
Absolutely.
It's unbelievable.
Yeah.
The man
They're giving the old reach around, whatever they're doing.
Exactly.
I mean,
no, literally they are. They're literally fondling each other on the turnover every night.
So Anderson Cooper, so they roll him out, and here he is.
Tubin, John Dean, appreciate it. Some news now about this network. It involves Chris Cuomo, the host of Cuomo Prime Time. New documents released this week indicated that Chris was more intimately involved than previously known in helping his brother, former New York Governor Andrew Cuomo, craft a defense amid a flurry of sexual misconduct allegations. Here's a statement released tonight from a CNN spokesperson. Quote, the New York Attorney General's office released transcripts and exhibits Monday that shed new light on Chris Cuomo's involvement in his brother's defense. The documents, which we were not privy to before their public release, raised serious questions. The spokesperson continued, quote, when Chris admitted to us that he had offered advice to his brother's staff, he broke our rules, and we acknowledged that publicly. But we also appreciated the unique position he was in and understood his need to put family first and jobs second.
Right.
However, these documents point to a greater level of involvement in his brother's efforts than we previously knew. The spokesperson added, as a result, we have suspended Chris indefinitely pending further evaluation. Second hour 360 is right after the break.
Yeah. Was Jeffrey Tubin on right before?
Yeah. Didn't Tubin get a bungee cord?
So they had the masturbator on with Anderson Cooper. I mean, CNN, they got a lot of high quality people there, don't they? They got the masturbator, they got the guy that's digging dirt for his brother, to get him out of trouble. I mean, seriously, wow. I mean,
the best part about that is the last line of that statement that was up on the screen there. It said that he's suspended indefinitely until further evaluation.
Exactly.
So wouldn't it have been reasonable to assume that after the first little incident happened where supposedly they were, it's okay, you're just putting family before company and so on and so forth, wouldn't they have done a further evaluation and discovered on their own these things before it was released through the public documents?
Maybe they thought the Attorney General was never going to release the transcripts. Maybe they thought that they would never be released and that normal people like us would never see them.
They're the journalists.
Maybe
they're the ones that would have dug for those documents in the first place.
Well, if you dig for them and
if they're real journalists,
you're certainly not going to bring it up.
Yeah.
Maybe it's because she's running for governor and didn't take their bribe.
I don't. It could be
perfect.
Absolutely.
Excellent.
So, just a little that. So, I predict that he's done. I think he's done.
Don
You think he's
Schlonsky
done?
says Tubin would have been there for support, but his hands are full. Great one, Don.
That is very funny, actually. Very good. So the other thing I want to get to is, of course, Mayor Lovely Warren, who says she has no regrets. She has no regrets. She wouldn't have done anything in her 2 terms as mayor of Rochester, New York, differently.
Hold on. Isn't that what you said after, like, what you
Really?
said? You had no regrets too, right? I mean, what's wrong with that?
I said what I said. I don't have any regrets.
No regrets.
But
what's wrong with no regrets?
Nothing's wrong with no regrets.
I'm just kidding.
But you got to look at the way, of course, the city, you don't have any regrets about maybe leaving your kid home with your drug dealing, street loving, gun loving husband, who, by the way,
she didn't know. She had no idea.
According to the wiretaps, he took her on drug deals. Not Lovely, but the daughter. You have no regrets about marrying the guy. You have no regrets about campaign finance fraud.
No regret about throwing the chief under the bus and destroying his life.
Singletary.
Yeah.
You have no
No
regrets
regrets.
about making sure he had no ride home and he had to like have someone bring him clothes because you wouldn't allow him to wear his uniform home. You don't have any regrets on that. There's no regrets in that respect.
No regrets about destroying Jeremy Capple's life.
Nothing.
Or trying to destroy his life.
Destroying the city with the highest homicide rate since 1993. And we have 30 more days to go to count the bodies that may drop between now, December 1st.
We're at
and
77 right now.
we are at 77. The record was 73.
The last person that was murdered at the Speedway. You heard about that one this week?
The stabbing.
The stabbing at the Speedway.
Mm-hmm.
The victim, Anthony Lovett, 59-year-old Anthony Lovett, he was a client of mine.
What?
Yeah. I represented him in a criminal case, in a criminal trial about 6-7 years ago.
Get out of here.
Assault second degree he was charged with. And
he was charged
with assault second degree. So, I mean,
was
honestly,
he guilty?
It's a classic example. Hold on, I'll answer that in a minute. It's a classic example of everybody has nice things to say about somebody when it makes sense for the narrative that they want to run with, right?
Okay.
The district attorney's office is on the record right now in the newspaper. I read it this morning saying nice things about this victim, Anthony Lovett Jr.
Wait a minute. You read the newspaper?
And
I read the headlines when I'm getting my coffee at 7-Eleven every morning.
See, I use it for kitty litter.
I won't pay for it.
Except for Gary Craig's.
I read it for
columns. I read Gary Craig. Yeah.
I read the headlines for free every morning at 7-Eleven in Seabreeze. But so where was I going with this?
With the guy that you represented.
Yeah.
That the
DA. So the DA's office.
The DA's office.
Thank you. So the DA's office says nice things about him. Well, 7 years ago they were prosecuting him for assault in the second degree, and I obtained
same prosecutor 7 years ago as today, right?
No, no, you mean at the top?
Yeah, DA, the top.
It might have been. I think so, perhaps.
It was.
Yeah. So, assault second degree obtained a disorderly conduct. So, assault second degree is a high-level felony. Was facing state prison time. Obtained a disorderly conduct, max 15 days in jail. That was mid-trial, based on witness testimony.
Who did he assault?
Allegedly, it was just a random person. It was
just a random person.
Well, it was there was a domestic dispute, girlfriend type of situation.
Kind of like this situation.
So Chad,
yeah.
If you didn't do as good of a job, and this person was still in prison,
my client
he'd still be alive.
I thought about that.
Really?
Yeah, I thought about that. No, he would have been out by now. He could have gotten, I think, maybe 4 years for.
Question.
Yeah.
Question.
Had he been in prison before? Had he been in jail before? Had he had any?
He did have a record.
Okay.
Yeah, he had a record.
Okay.
I don't know that.
I'm not surprised by
I think
that,
he had been in
actually.
prison. Yeah. Yeah.
So,
I mean, honestly, though, it's funny because it's not funny, but just the way I'm saying it. So when somebody looks at this current situation, the DA's office is able to look at the current situation and refer to him as a nice person. I would say the same thing. In my interactions with him, right?
He's not beating you
when he's not assaulting somebody, right?
Right.
I actually gave him a ride home after 2 court appearances because he didn't have a car, and he was gonna have to take the bus. And I grew up in the city. I'm not afraid of the city. I'm not, I'm a people person,
Of course.
right? So, I drove him home, and I got to know him as an individual on top of him being my client, and we were successful together as a partnership. And
so you got him off the
charges.
You beat the charges.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. So, and now 6-7 years later, I open up the newspaper and see that he was murdered. It's kind of crazy.
Murdered on Monday morning.
You know what the bottom line is all this? I know that they've been wanting to close that Speedway for years because of the issues that it has.
Yeah.
The bottom line is that Speedway, because they've been fighting to keep it open because it's like the only gas station in that area.
On Lake Ave. Yeah.
And that the bottom line is that station will be closed now.
I stopped.
Wegmans
used to stop
closed.
there when I worked at the other radio station that was in High Falls.
Yeah, they closed the Tops, and
the Tops is closed.
Remember when Wegmans shut down its last city location at Dewey and Driving Park, and they were accused of course, being racists, right? What are these businesses supposed to do?
Well, it's a violence and theft. You can't hang out because
should they hang out for 20 more years and wait for a George Floyd riot?
Yeah,
right. Wegmans knew what they were doing 20 years ago,
right?
When they closed all their city locations. They didn't want to be they didn't want to be an inner city Target or an inner city, whatever shoe store,
right?
That was going to get rioted and looted, during the next, BLM.
Right. Exactly.
self-righteous
So you see,
fist in the air movement.
So you see Mayor Lovely Warren, and this all happened under her. The riots happened under her.
No regrets.
The Daniel Prude happened under her.
No regrets.
Her buddy Adam McFadden and George Moses, the Rochester Housing Authority, all happened. They were all intertwined, all buddy, all friendly. Uncle Reggie happened under Mayor Lovely Warren, which is why, and I told this story yesterday, we were the only radio team, Beck and I, when we were on the radio doing mornings, that had her and her family on. In fact, it was Mayor Lovely, her little girl, who was only like 2 or 3 at the time, and Timothy Granison all came into the radio station, and they were on our morning show. They didn't go on any other show.
You had Lovely Warren on your show?
Yeah. And then, of course,
you didn't tell me that.
Months later.
We wouldn't have. No, this ends here today.
No, no, but
you're going to have lots of regrets after this show.
She was running against.
Did you know this?
Yeah, I know everything.
She was running against.
I just don't want to say anything.
Tom, what's his face?
Morgan.
Tom. No, no, she was running. Richards.
Tom Richards. Yeah.
Tom Richards. She
Never
was
trust
running
a guy
against
with 2 first names.
Tom Richards, and no one even took her seriously. No one was having her on any kind of meet. Now, honestly, no one thought Lovely Warren was going to be mayor, and I said it at the time. All the white people stayed home. Because they thought that, Tom Richards had it
in the bag.
In the bag. All the rich white people stayed home and didn't vote because they thought Tom Richards was going to win, and he didn't. Lovely won.
Smoked too.
We had her on the phone after she won, and then several months later,
she called for your firing.
Someone called us and said, "I am calling off the record. I don't want to say my name, but Lovely Warren was stopped on the thruway 3 times, twice going down to Albany and once coming back in like the same day and a half. And Uncle Reggie, who she'd put on the payroll, was the one driving the car, and he used to be a state trooper. And so
don't they know that the troopers are all spaced out 18 miles?
After that, she never had anything to do with us. We were non-existent.
You were blackballed.
To Mayor Lovely. Well, it wouldn't be the first time I've been blackballed. We were, never again. We never talked to her again. We never had access again. She couldn't take the heat.
And then it was Benny Hill, and the rest is.
So she doesn't have any regrets on any of that. Can we play a little bit of her video, Austin? Got a little bit of Lovely.
I stand here today, and I want to say thank you. Thank you for giving me the opportunity to serve as your mayor 8 years ago. When I took on this job in 2014, Jesus. I made some promises. But in my first inaugural address, I broke from the tradition of soaring language and lofty ideas and made those promises directly to my daughter, Taylor, and the children of Rochester. I knew every decision I was about to make as mayor will be held against the test of a mother's love for her child. Parents want what's best for their children, which is why, as I governed, I let my love for Taylor and the children of Rochester be my guide.
Can you stop it right there?
So as we
don't need it. Okay, so what she did was she married a man who put more drugs out on the street along with his drug gang than has ever been on the streets of Rochester before.
For the kids of Rochester.
For the kids of Rochester. For more homicides and kids getting shot in the street, one over from Aquinas, last month?
Yeah.
And a couple of kids this summer just walking down a street in the city. That's what she wanted for the children of Rochester?
You know what I hope for her daughter's sake? I hope that YouTube bans that video like they would do to a video of mine.
No regrets.
I hope her daughter doesn't have to watch the hypocrisy just pour out of her mom's mouth.
Well,
because her daughter's going to become an adult someday.
Her daughter's 11 or 12. She doesn't get it.
Out.
Yeah, she doesn't get it now.
No, but she will.
Her daughter will get it later.
Yeah.
Or maybe she won't. Maybe she'll be ultra loyal to her mom, and her mom's the best. And, but I don't know. But all I could think of the whole time when she, it's a long video, but she says, I have no regrets several times in the video, if you care to watch it. And I don't know why it's on YouTube. But all I could think about was this movie. It's one of my favorite movies, and I don't know if you guys have ever seen it before. The Millers.
Oh, yeah.
Let's play the No Regrets.
What's up, dog?
Not much, dog. What's up with you? I'm here to pick up Casey, you know what I'm saying? What's your name, man? Scotty P, you know what I'm saying?
You know what I'm saying?
Well, I'm awake and I speak English, so yeah, I do know what you're saying.
Hi. Bye. We're gonna go.
Whoa.
Where do you think you're going? Would you please have a seat?
Hey, those are cool tats, man.
Oh, for real. Thank you, bro. You see the Cobra?
And what is this one?
Oh, this?
Uh-huh.
That's my credo. No regrets.
You have no regrets?
Dad.
No? Like not even a single letter?
No way. Not me.
I love them.
That's all I can know.
I think it's a real winner,
Regrets.
Casey. Are we?
That's it. Thank you. That's all I can think. I love that movie.
Lovely should have that tattooed right there.
No regrets.
right on
Right
her
there.
neck.
RAGRETS. But yeah, so she has no regrets. She has no regrets about, bringing in her buddies, Adam McFadden and, the fat boy, George Moses. She has no regrets on that. Let's show a picture of Mr. Fat Boy leaving. George Moses convicted on 28 counts of fraud. 28 counts of fraud. Between the not-for-profit organizations.
Not-for-profit.
Not-for-profit.
Right. Not-for-profit.
Not-for-profit.
Nobody makes a profit. Except for the one stealing.
Except for Lovely Warren and the downtown developers that were all, at first, they weren't behind her, but then they realized, as Tom, you said earlier, she was holding the purse strings.
I said something?
You did.
Oh,
yeah.
Who knew? It's 47 degrees out.
They weren't exactly with Mayor Lovely Warren to begin with, the downtown developers. But once they figured out that she was going to let them have carte blanche, they were all about Mayor Lovely Warren. And so the downtown developers were on the take, and that plays into, we had Mary Ellen Belding on the show last week, and she was part of that downtown development thing that, worked off grants, worked off all this, money that was just, it wasn't real. It was like monopoly money.
Yeah.
It really didn't exist.
It's a water faucet, a spigot of federal dollars coming out of Washington, funneled through Albany.
Exactly.
Funneled as kickbacks for political,
Slaughter and Morelli.
Political kickbacks.
Right. And so you have, the former head of the Rochester Housing Authority, George Moses, who was convicted on 28 counts of fraud that he stole from a neighborhood group called the Northeast Area Development that he headed to try to make these poor, impoverished people in these neighborhoods in Rochester, that the money was to help them. But what he did was he took upwards of, and it's $200,000 plus. What I hear is it's closer to $1 million that George Moses, head of the Rochester Housing Authority, put in his pockets to better his life.
Is this the guy that went on vacation and everything?
Had a girlfriend in Canada.
Knicks games.
Knicks games.
Okay.
Trips to Canada. Guns.
Why would you go to a Knicks game anyway?
He paid for cruises.
Yeah.
He paid for a bunch of stuff for his wife because, it's expensive, guys, when you have a wife and a girlfriend, especially if the girlfriend, he hired a lawyer for the girlfriend so he could get her dual citizenship.
Who did he hire?
A lawyer.
A lawyer?
Yeah.
I love it when she says that.
Really?
Yeah. So, and
it's the
then
only thing she says that I love.
And so in the meantime, Adam McFadden, who took $130,000 for Quad A for kids and after school program, he took all that money and Adam McFadden pocketed it. And he also benefited from George Moses and the Housing Authority that Lovely Warren hand selected for those positions. This is Lovely's Rochester. Everyone is on the take.
Yeah, it's all about character.
But, I thought it was interesting. Gary Craig had made a comment on Twitter. He's a reporter for the Democrat and Chronicle here in Rochester.
And don't ever say the Democrat and Chronicle again on the show, but go on.
And you did earlier.
Why? You read it every morning.
So he had mentioned that had George Moses, the housing director, Housing Authority, Rochester Housing Authority head, had he have taken different advice, he might not have ever been convicted on 28 counts of fraud. And so you had kind of an interesting take on that because all these charges weren't put together until later, right?
Yeah. Well, as Gary Craig correctly points out, a lot of times with these federal investigations and these federal indictments, they hit the defendant after the initial charges that are filed, right? In other words, we're going to hit them, we're going to knock them down,
right?
Force them to get a lawyer, force them to come to court. charge them with whatever we've discovered up to that point, but then the investigation goes on from there because they're actively interviewing witnesses, right? And they're waiting to see if the defendant has information that maybe they can roll on a bigger fish, so to speak. And then they always come in with a superseding indictment, which is essentially new charges, over and above the original charges. Gary Craig correctly lays this all out on his Twitter thread that you're referencing. So by the time they're finished, meaning the federal prosecutors and the investigators, by the time they're finished, it sounds like, and I didn't study his particular case, but it sounds like they brought several more charges than what had originally been charged. They uncovered many more facts and illegal circumstances that he was engaged in. So the theory that Craig presented was possibly that, why didn't he take a plea early on? Or was that your thought?
My thought is, why didn't he take the plea early on? And my thought was, he just had a really bad attorney. And some really bad advice. I mean, that's my theory on the whole thing, is that, either George Moses is really stupid and he thought he was going to skate. Because here's what these guys think. Mayor Lovely Warren committed campaign fraud, thought she was going to skate, right? Thought no one was going to bring charges against her. And she had to resign because of a plea deal. She keeps her law license. She still practices law. She's not stupid. She took the plea deal. George Moses, former head of the Rochester Housing Authority, who pocketed upwards of $1 million for all of his, to keep up with the George Moses fat boy lifestyle. I mean, he wasn't smart enough to realize, I'm not going to skate on this. The feds are going to get me on something. So I either think he had really bad advice or he's just stupid or maybe both. I don't know.
Well, stupid or greedy or who knows, but I'm not ready to blame his lawyer, primarily because it's quite possible that his lawyer is only looking at what it is he's charged with. So as a practical matter, the client comes to you and says, I need to retain you. I've been charged with this crime. So the lawyer says, okay, what have you been charged with? Gathers all the documents, reviews all the facts and circumstances, and advises him on that. The lawyer doesn't know what George Moses knows. The lawyer doesn't know that George Moses knows that he also engaged in all of these other crimes, right? And George Moses is sitting there going, holy cow, they must not know that I also did this, and this. So really, he's the one that got played by the feds. George Moses got played by the feds.
I got you.
The feds know that they're going to bring
smarter.
Yeah, the feds know that they're going to bring all these other charges. George Moses is sitting there going, "Oh, I must be fine, so I'll just ride this particular charge out." Now, of course, hindsight's 2020.
Sure.
Had George Moses known that the feds knew about all the other stuff, and had his lawyer known about all the other stuff, which the feds aren't going to let the lawyer know, right? They're not going to cue the lawyer in on it. The lawyer never has the opportunity to say to his or her client, "Hey, this is something we should try to cop out on," and because there's more coming. The lawyer probably never had that opportunity. I'm guessing.
Lovely Warren, who again is no longer mayor of Rochester as of today,
12:01 a.m. this morning, right?
Probably knew better than to chest up the district attorney in this particular case. That's my thought.
And along those lines,
but these were all buddies. They're all friends. They're all connected. They're all
running the same train on the money. On the same money.
And it is really sad. The downtown developers, and we named some of those last week. Who were they? They were Krista, DeMarco, Crane Hogan, all of them. All of them, all buddy with Lovely.
Yep.
Because of what
they all have their hand out.
They could, she could do for them. Yeah. And then everyone else had their hand out because they wanted to be on the payroll so that they could steal money, and they did. So that's what I have to say. So I figure George Moses is probably going to jail for he'll be in federal pound me in the ass prison for a while. I mean, that's my thought. I don't know that for a fact, but
the one thing that surprises me is that he wasn't able to provide a bigger fish. Because I believe wholeheartedly that there's way bigger fish to fry than even $1 million, right? I mean, as Lisa Semino pointed out a few minutes ago on a comment on here, probably was money that came from the RCSD. If you all recall, I'm not sure if this is specifically what she's referring to, but a couple of years ago, didn't $30 million come up missing?
It was for the revitalization program, right?
Yeah. Remember, all of a sudden there was a $30 million budget gap. And of course, the media called it a budget gap. No, it was missing money.
Yes, it was missing. Well,
missing money.
Mark Assini.
Yes, Mark Assini pointed this
out on our show.
Okay.
We broke the story.
See, and I'm re-breaking it.
That there was, of course, at the end of the school year, the person who was the superintendent, and everyone said, "Oh yeah,
it was like 8 superintendents ago already.
Everything's fine. Everything's fantastic. We have, of course, we're in the black." And Mark Assini came on our show
now
and said,
"Now you're gonna get fired for that comment."
And said, "We're really that they're not." And he's an accountant, and he would know.
Yeah,
that $30 million shortfall.
Yeah, and nobody ever looked after that money.
Nobody.
So they invest $30 million, right? What's the quick math on that? What is George Moses allegedly at most was $1 million?
At most. I mean, they say 200 plus.
So you're saying there's 30 other guys, Chad.
What's $1 million divided by 30 million? What percent?
30?
What percent is
that?
1/30th. 1/30.
Whatever that is, right? Yeah. So the feds went after $1 million when there's 30 million missing.
Right.
And we know that this is $30 million under Lovely's umbrella. So in other words, it was almost as if, and this is where maybe I need to go get the tinfoil hat, but every time I seem to put that damn tinfoil hat on, 3 weeks later, it turns out to be true. Right. But if I got to put my tinfoil hat on right now, fine. But at the exact same time, we got the feds going after Lovely Warren, and she walks away with literally a slap on the hand.
Right. Yeah.
That used to be cliche, but now it's just I always say
on
cliches.
Separate charges.
Yeah. Cliches are cliches for a reason because they're true.
Right.
So she walks away with a slap on the hand, doesn't even lose her ability to earn a living like everyone else does for way lesser things.
Yeah, way lesser.
Right?
Yeah.
Right?
Yes.
So that's going on. And at the same time, George Moses is being prosecuted, and he's just an idiot. He's a stooge for this whole process. So he's going to go away for a little while. There's way bigger people involved in this. There's way bigger people that walked away with way more money. Where's the other 29 million?
It's a good question.
Where's the other 29 million, federal investigator? You know, who prosecuted, there's the movie. Who prosecuted? Yeah, right. Where am I going with this one?
I don't know.
It's the Italian mob movie.
What, The Sopranos?
John Gotti.
Oh, John Gotti. Oh, okay.
Who prosecuted John Gotti?
I have no idea.
Elliot Ness.
Yeah.
I'm answering all my own questions here.
Elliot Ness.
Who did Elliot Ness prosecute?
I don't know.
There's the movie Untouchables.
Oh, okay.
I've made it all the way back to the movie.
Wasn't
no anyone know the movie Untouchables?
Hey, you're watching Kimberly's Revolution, and also
good segue.
We the People Podcast Network. We want to thank our sponsors, Fantuzzo's Acupuncture. We also want to thank Taylor Heating and Plumbing. We want to thank Precision Lawn and Garden, Kimberly and Justin up there in Webster, and of course Brian at Express Sealers. Capone.
Of course, thank you, Capone. Jason, my best friend Jason Madigan. There, he comes through. Al Capone.
So
yeah,
we
Elliot Ness. Sorry, go on. Sponsors are important
here. We thank our sponsors, and we really appreciate them. But I know you want to get in. Yeah, you're like a dog with a bone on this. I get it completely, but I know there's something else you want to talk about too. And I just want to, to circle back to yesterday. What did I say? It was the emergency of non-emergencies, and the big breaking news this afternoon is that the Omicron variant has been identified in the United States, in California, and it was just yesterday afternoon that the county is on a state of emergency.
Well, hold on a second.
An emergency of non-emergency.
Austin.
Which was yesterday's show name.
Austin, we talked about this on my show yesterday.
What's that?
Did. They found my package.
Yes, that's right. It was stuck in the harbor.
I said I was hoping I ordered my variant on Prime, on Amazon Prime, and it hadn't come in yet.
Oh, okay.
And I was worried that my variant wasn't going to come in by Christmas because I said it was stuck out in the harbor with the supply chain problem, and it was found, and they found it in California. See, I was right.
The Omicron variant was found in a guy who had gotten off a plane, and he had just come from South Africa. But again, the CDC says this is not an issue. It is mild symptoms.
Don't panic.
At best. But here in Monroe County, state of emergency, which says to me,
panic.
They want everyone to panic and start wearing masks.
Of course they do.
Again. I mean, so here we
Except
are.
for them.
We're rolling backwards. And I know a couple of my friends are already working from home again. I mean, so we're back to that. Are we back there?
Isn't that so
We're back to this?
2020?
It really is. Because of the Omicron variant. And I think stocks and everything, the financial markets crapped the bed again today, this afternoon, because of the breaking news of the Omicron variant in California. And I don't want this to shock anyone. I'm sure it's other places, including right here in New York. You're going to get a cold. You're going to get the flu. It happens. People die. It happens.
Oh no, people die.
I know. I know, but I'm just saying that even the CEO of Moderna said that the vaccination is less and maybe not even effective at all against Omicron. And that's coming from the CEO of Moderna, which of course I think sent stocks railing yesterday as well. But he's being truthful, thankfully.
Or he just wants more money for research from the federal government.
Well, I mean, research into what? He already knows that whatever vaccines they have out there currently, they're not going to work. But here in Monroe County, of course, and I know you wanted to hit on this, now we're back to state of emergency level. And I really don't know what that means.
Comrade Bello.
Yeah, yeah.
I think we have a picture of Comrade Bello.
Do we?
To pull up on the screen here.
Yeah, there he is.
I love this, right? So let's set this up. Of course, he's sitting clearly in the county office building, right? He's sitting in his nice leather chair at his big oak table with all of the oak trim on the walls behind him and pictures of himself with his name up there. And there's a photo op, and he's signing a declaration of a state of emergency. Are we able to zoom in on that? And he's declaring, I am not yet calling for a county-wide mask mandate, but I'm instituting these changes and recommendations. And then we scroll down, and he says, face mask requirement in all county-operated facilities,
right,
for both county employees. Now we scroll back up.
Members of the public that go into county buildings.
And now we scroll back up, and the asshole that's signing the order is sitting in a county-operated building with no mask on.
Yes.
And the photographer probably has no mask on either. But it's for a photo op, so it's okay.
Well, to be fair, Chad, he hasn't signed it yet.
Oh, that's a good point. I see. That's why Just Tom is the show's expert legal counsel.
Right.
Correct.
The COVID knows that that he hasn't signed it yet.
So I'm going to stand down now.
Right. Right.
I owe Adam Bello an apology.
Yeah, you look at that and you just get so angry, right?
Because they're such hypocritical, shameless pieces of shit is what they are. They really are.
Well said. I like this little TikTok that we have.
Can We the People Podcast Network does not endorse any of these comments made by the hosts.
Let's give it a little tablespoon of your hypocrisy for today.
Okay, you're not going to get COVID if you have these vaccinations.
These vaccines are highly, highly effective.
Oops.
Vaccinated people do not carry the virus, don't get sick.
Everyone who takes the vaccine is not just protecting themselves, but reducing their transmission to other people and allowing society to get back to normal.
Get your first shot, and when you're due for your second, get your second shot.
Our key goal is to stop the transmission, to get the immunity levels up so that you get almost no infection going on whatsoever.
When people are vaccinated,
400%
they can feel
increase.
safe that they are not going to get infected.
Oh, but
if you're vaccinated, you're not going to be hospitalized. You're not going to be in an ICU unit. And you're not going to die if you are fully vaccinated.
Wow.
At least he was able to put the sentence together.
Wear a mask.
Anyone who is fully vaccinated can
WTF.
participate in indoor and outdoor activities, large or small, without wearing a mask or physical distancing.
But what they can't do anymore is prevent transmission.
We didn't have vaccines that block transmission.
Anyway, you get the
Hold on, we got to listen to the rest of this.
But they only slightly reduce transmissions. We need a new way of doing the vaccine.
The level of virus in the
Chad's getting a semi.
nasopharynx of a person who's vaccinated and infected
This is awesome.
is the same level as the level of virus in the nasopharynx of an unvaccinated person.
Reports from our international colleagues, including Israel, suggest increased risk of severe disease amongst those vaccinated.
All right.
early.
Okay, see what I get. So
I heard from Israel today.
Yeah, I know you did.
I told you about that.
I know you
Israel
did.
called me today.
So here's the thing. It's all hypocritical. It's all bullshit. And you look at something like that, and you just got to. If there's a mask mandate, I just won't go wherever it is. You won't get my money, and you won't get my business, and that's all there is to it. So I don't think we can go back there again, but that is where we seem to be. You can get over this. You're going to get a cold. You're going to be fine. Most of us will recover, 99.9% of us. But there's always been, and there always will be, people who get sick with the flu or a cold, and it morphs into pneumonia, and they die. Or people who have other issues going on in their body, right? They have other things.
How did LeBron James get COVID when
he's vaccinated?
When that his handlers would never let anybody get within 6 feet of him that wasn't vaccinated. But somehow he got COVID. So
I did the math today. I went on the CDC's website.
Wait a minute. You did math?
I'm going into the weeds here. 1/5,
20%
of 1%. 1/5
of 1%.
Of 1% of Americans have died with COVID. Right. And of course, we all know that out of that 1/5 of 1%, how many of these people that supposedly died of COVID as they claim,
right?
We all know they died with it as opposed to because of it. But how many of those people were just coded as having died of COVID?
Right, exactly.
And they didn't really die of COVID. They died of, stage 4 renal rectal bladder failure.
Why does it always have to be the ass, Chad?
It's like
why do you always go right to the ass?
It's like Colin Powell. They said he died of COVID. He didn't die of COVID. He died of comorbidities and old age.
Yeah.
He had cancer.
Yeah.
He didn't die of COVID.
And then 5 minutes before he died, they shoved a swab up his ass and they found COVID.
Again with the ass.
I meant nose. I'm sorry.
Where can I find that video clip of lies? I found it on TikTok.
We always put everything of lies, so don't worry about it.
I found it on TikTok.
It's Aaron. It's the entire show. Just watch our show.
So yesterday, as we were ending Kimberly's Revolution yesterday, we got word probably about an hour after the show that there was a school shooting in Michigan. It's Oxford High School in Michigan, and it appears that there were initially 3 teenagers dead at this high school. There are the 3 that were shot and killed yesterday by a 15-year-old sophomore at the high school. One of those kids at the boy was a high school football player that had several scholarships to play football in college. There's been another boy that has since died. He was 17. And then you see the 2 beautiful girls there. It is such a shame. We have the picture of the school shooter. He is 15-year-old Ethan Crumbly. He will be charged with murder, attempted murder, and terrorism. So the scary thing is,
why terrorism?
I'm not sure. Probably because he planned it and made threats online about killing people.
Did he yell Allahu Akbar?
He took a picture of the gun and then posted to social media the night before, which would have been Monday night. Now I become death. He posted somewhere. So these are some of his postings on social media. I don't know what's going on with this kid, but again, he's 15 years old. What are those things? What are the masks? What are the people? What is that, Austin? Do you recognize that?
They just look like creepy pastas to me.
Creepy what?
Creepy pastas. It's like little scary images that you share. It's from like copy and paste.
Oh, okay.
Like creepy and paste. Creepy pastas.
It looks so. He's got a picture of the gun. You see that there's a picture of the target for target practice. So basically, this kid posted a picture of the semi-automatic handgun used in the massacre on social media.
So basically, the Second Amendment's bad.
This was a recent purchase that his dad made.
Bad dad.
It was a 9mm Sig Sauer
purse gun
that the dad bought on Black Friday.
Wow. Another racist remark by the host.
Kid takes the gun to school. I don't know, unbeknownst to probably mom and dad. And I don't even know. I mean, was his dad with him when they were target shooting? I mean, maybe it's something that they have in common.
What's the charges against the parents here, Chad?
Nothing.
There are no charges yet. I can assume they're probably coming. But so you think, okay, this kid's evil. He's screwed up.
Clearly.
He's beyond evil. There is video of kids that are in a classroom. They've put chairs up against the door so a school shooter can't get. It's not a drill, right? They're ready. They're prepared. They're in a classroom. Have you seen this video?
No, I probably don't want to see it.
This kid, Ethan Crumbley, pretends he's a sheriff deputy. He calls to the kids in the classroom.
Oh, God.
It's the sheriff. We're here. Come on out. See all clear. One boy says, okay, we don't feel comfortable doing that right now. The shooter says, well, come on, bro. Everything's all clear. And that's when they knew it wasn't a real sheriff's deputy.
Oh, bro. Yeah, come on, bro.
And they all go out a window. Let's play the video.
Wow. Somebody's filming this?
Mm-hmm. It's on. Yep. They do what kids do.
Wow. Holy shit.
Yeah, bro.
He said, bro. They all caught
bro.
That.
Red flag.
Wow.
Wait for it.
I'm getting chills right now.
Mm-hmm. He's trying to get in the door. They go through the windows. They break the window and they go out through the window.
Why didn't they do that in the first place, I wonder now?
Because
in hindsight,
they don't know where the shooter is.
They don't know where the shooter is, and they don't know what the shooter's doing.
That's true.
Did it skip to the part where the one kid said, we don't really feel comfortable doing that? It seemed like there was a skip.
Wow, that's amazing.
I didn't.
Did it skip through that?
It might have. I didn't see.
So yeah,
this is going to sound trite.
He tries to coax them out so he can shoot them as they come out of the classroom.
I'll tell you
He's
what.
That evil. That is evil, right? And I don't even know what 15-year-old thinks like that.
Well, here's the thing, though. Regardless of what that scumbag evil thing is thinking right there on the screen right now, what I just witnessed there with how those kids handled themselves and conducted themselves, I want to give credit to two things. One is, whatever training, and I know my kids have lived through this. I don't know if your guys' kids.
My kids are old.
But they're not that old.
They're not that old.
That our kids ever. I mean since
honestly,
9/11, your kids were in school post 9/11, right?
Forget about 9/11. Let's think of the school shooting that
Columbine.
was in Columbine.
Yeah,
your kids were still in school.
Yeah, so
in
your
Columbine.
kids lived through the lockdown drills.
Right.
We lived through fire drills.
I mean, Columbine was in 2000. It was
Chad,
99.
I lived through nuclear Holocaust drills.
Actually, Columbine, I think, was in 1999. So all of our kids, your
lived
kids
through
weren't
these
even
lockdown
here.
drills.
Yeah.
So they were trained. So our kids have all been trained on this, and they clearly have taken note, and they followed their training, right? But what really, in my opinion, and I literally just saw that for the first time, and I had chills. So I'm giving you kind of a raw take here, but what I just saw was nature take over. Those kids intuitively knew how to protect their own lives.
But here's the thing.
And they recognized that this was fake, that this was not, they just knew, they sensed that it wasn't real, and they knew to get out.
How did they know that it wasn't a sheriff's deputy? Because his voice.
They heard bro.
They heard bro second, but he had knocked on the door. Can we play that again?
You can hear the relief at first. Scared. Now relief.
Yeah, bro.
Come at the door and look at my badge. That kid is so evil that he was faking
What about the fact that he knocked at the other door before that door? You could hear him knock on the door before that, and there was no answer, so he went to the next door.
That's crazy to me. That he would portray himself as a sheriff's deputy.
By the way, my 15-year-old picture looks just like that.
To get that kid, to get the kids out of the
literally,
it does.
So you have 4 kids dead because of this kid, and probably many more because he had 2. What was it? He had 2 magazines still.
How many
left.
kids were in that class? That's how many more dead kids there would have been.
There would have been
had they not acted according. Acted.
What happened to the resource officers? Where are they?
So again, he said, "Now I become death. I'm the destroyer of worlds."
Where are the parents? Where are the teachers armed with guns?
And the weird thing is that, he posted this stuff on social media. Now I'm the destroyer of worlds. Death comes to Oxford tomorrow, and no one reported it. There were some kids that didn't go to school yesterday because they thought that something was going to happen, and it did. He had 2 15-round mags, including one with 7 remaining bullets when they arrested him in the hallway. If those kids would have opened those doors, those kids would have all been dead.
Yeah.
All of them. So you have this 15-year-old with some kind of evil devil mentality pretending to be a sheriff's deputy. That's a new one to me, right? I don't know what kid thinks like that. Who is that evil?
I don't know, video game.
Yeah.
Really?
Horse shit.
I don't know.
Lots of kids play video games.
Gun-free zone there,
I don't know.
Yeah, exactly. That's the thing. It was a gun-free zone.
Well, let me show you a little tweet because this falls under Mayor Lovely's reign of terror as well. It was the violence tweet about what they were going to do about gun violence here in Rochester. Here you go. In an effort to combat this year's record number of homicides in Rochester, the city has announced a partnership with the Brady Center to help prevent gun violence.
What that tweet should say is
that's not going to work.
How much money we're getting? Where's the dollars? How many zeros are after the 1?
Why has that been submitted one day after her resignation? She didn't want that? I mean, why didn't they do something 6 months ago?
I have no idea.
Well, it's all horse shit anyway. What is it that they're going to do? Prevent gun violence?
Well,
guns are not violent.
Well, why did
people
they
that use the guns are violent?
Of course.
I mean, we've talked about this and talked about it.
What the Brady Center needs to do, and what these organizations need to do, is get into the home.
Yeah.
Exactly. You mean like the homes that Adam McFadden, Lovely Warren, and George Moses were trying to help with all of that money that they were pilfering and stealing, all that money?
Exactly.
Don't shout at us gun violence and systemic racism. It's all horseshit.
They steal the money that was earmarked to allegedly help the people.
Yeah, does anybody get that?
No.
All the money that was for the poor people in those neighborhoods, they stole.
They're choking on $100
they
bills.
Lined
they can't
their
get
pockets
it. They can't
with
get it.
That's not systemic racism. That's just thievery. That's all that is.
That's why I have no problem. This might not sound like, all that politically correct for this show, but that's why I have no problem with a kid standing on a street corner, slinging a little dope to try to make money, because these shitbags are running the mafia at a high level.
Yes.
With millions of our dollars.
Yes.
They're slinging lots of dope. It's not packaged as marijuana and crack, but they're slinging a lot of political dope, and they're generating and taking tens of millions of dollars. And again, as I mentioned earlier, they're funneling it out of the federal government, through the state government, down into local government,
grants,
and then
whatever.
they're meeting and having lunch and divvying it up, and spreading it around through illicit means, claiming that it's legal by setting up these shell companies like the Housing Authority, etc. So
the Quad A for kids, it was supposed to help kids in after school programs.
How are we going to put a kid in jail who is selling drugs on the street corner as George Moses is stealing the money that was earmarked for that kid's family?
So he can take a cruise with his fat ass wife.
Yeah.
And his fat ass girlfriend. I mean, all this money that was
both
allocated.
Both of them at the same time? God bless them.
All of this money that was allocated for the city's poor people. So don't cry systemic racism to me. It's horseshit. It's all horseshit.
All right, we're gonna have to pay Tom overtime here. It's 5:05.
I know. Okay, that's gonna do it for Kimberly's Revolution. We hope you enjoyed watching and listening today. Please tell a friend. Please share our videos. Please do that for us. We have a website, WeThePeoplePodcastNetwork.com. You can go on. You can buy a T-shirt. You can do all that good stuff.
Did we iron the T-shirts?
I think we did iron the T-shirts. We did. We thank Austin.
Glad we ironed that kink out.
Thank you, Austin, for sitting in today. He's giving the big thumbs up.
You can watch all
does.
the tape shows of all the podcasts there.
The vax isn't going to help you against Omicron, or as our president says, Omicron.
He's right. That's what it is.
It is not.
Omicron.
It's Omicron. The vax isn't going to help you with it. The CEO of Moderna says so. I don't know. It's science, right?
I believe Joe.
That's going to do it. We'll be back with you next week. Kimberly's Revolution on Tuesday. Until then.
Let's go, Brandon.
God bless. Be kind to others.
Rejuvenate, restore, refresh, and heal. At Fantuzzo Acupuncture, we seek to help achieve effective health and wellness in an elegant spa-like atmosphere. Fantuzzo Acupuncture specializes in traditional acupuncture, cosmetic anti-aging acupuncture, acupressure, cupping, CBD topical creams, and more. Approach healthcare holistically. Visit FantuzzoAcupuncture.com to book online today. FantuzzoAcupuncture.com.
From attic to basement, we're here for you. It's quality service in all we do. Call Taylor 500 help.